Canish Manure Milaneged Nokakui. Good afternoon and welcome to the 1995 Minor A Hurling Championship final replay between the holders Sixmilebridge and the challengers Clarecastle. Both teams were very even last Sunday and finished on a score of 111 each. We're here the following Saturday, November the 4th, for this eagerly awaited replay. I'm joined here by a well-known Magpie custodian, Noel Considine. How do you see it going today, Noel?
Well, Ger, I've seen these two teams playing on two occasions, and the fact is they're very even. I suppose last week my head said the Bridge and my heart said Clarecastle, but I'm beginning to think with the switches Clarecastle have made that we just might do it today.
Time will tell, Noel. Now, just to give you the teams, first of all, Clarecastle. In goal, John Casey. Full back line, Mark McNamara. The full back wearing number 12 will be Rory Concannon, and the left corner back, John Farmer. The half back line wearing 5, Brian McMahon. Centre back, Derek Healy. Captain wearing number 3, and left half back will be Oliver Plunkett. Centre field wearing 8 will be Joe Amara, and wearing 6 will be Joe Quinn. Half forward line number 10, David Pine. Centre forward, Alan Keogh, and left half forward will be Donald Vaughan wearing 14. Castle team in the half forward line will be right half forward wearing number 10 will be Donald Vaughan. Centre forward right half forward wearing 14 will be Donald Vaughan. Centre forward wearing 10 will be John Pine, and left half forward wearing 11 will be Alan Keogh. The inside forward line for Clarecastle, 13 Dermot Fitzgerald. Full forward wearing 9 will be Brendan Murphy, and left corner forward wearing 17 will be Brendan Brown. Now the Bridge team in goal will be Colin Noonan. Full back line wearing number 17 will be Ulton Heffernan. Full back Declan Murphy, and left corner back Cahill Walsh. Half back line wearing 5 Kevin Phelan. Centre half back Stefan Fitzpatrick. Left half back Barry Downs. Midfield wearing 8 will be John Redden, and wearing 12 will be Greg Deegan, the captain of the side. Half forward line wearing number 50 will be Noel Flannery. Centre forward wearing 18 will be Barry Murphy, and left half forward wearing 9 will be Errol Toohey. And the inside forward line wearing 13 Johnny Swords. Full forward wearing 11 Greg Earls, and left corner forward wearing 10 will be Brian Casey. Now Alan Keogh at the moment going for the ball with Kevin Phelan. Alan Keogh fouls Phelan, and we have the first 3 of the game for Sixmilebridge to be taken by the centre back Stefan Fitzpatrick. Quite a few changes in the programme, but the programme today is really only a copy of last Sunday's one in the County Senior Hurling final programme. Gregory Ayres now flicking it on, but it's to the right and wide. First chance of a score there, lost by Sixmilebridge. Conditions now today a little bit overcast, but hopefully the rain will hold off. The first puck out of the game will be taken by the Clarecastle goalkeeper, the youngest player on the field, I think it's 15, John Casey. Pucks it out here across the field. Looking for the ball here is number 18 for the Bridge, Barry Murphy. John Redden of the Bridge has the ball. Redden loses it. Goes to Joe Amara. Joe Amara loses it. Derek Healy, the captain. He's blocked down there by John Redden. Goes to the number 6, Joe Quinn. Good ball in by the by Dermot Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald into the Brendan Murphy. Murphy fails to get it up. Dermot Fitzgerald and Murphy now again going for the ball. Touches with it. Across the square. And there to take it is the Bridge. The Bridge cornerback, Cahill Walsh. And we will 3 out the Bridge. In fact, it was Kevin Phelan there who won that 3. The field was taken by the fullback, Declan Murphy. Declan, son of well-known Sixmilebridge mentor Noel Murphy. Declan listed. Out goes into the field there, John Redden. Joe Quinn tips it down. Going for the ball now, Kevin Phelan. Kevin has it, the captain man has it. It's going through, it appears to be fouled, yes. Fouled by John Pine, and another free to the Bridge. Will be taken again by the centre back, Stefan Fitzpatrick. Stefan, son of former Bridge player, centre forward, DJ. Stefan has been very high in the league, across the 21-yard line. Yeah, Joe Quinn gets touched with there. Bridger has there, North January. They hold it. Back towards Barry Murphy. Barry Murphy hits it. Donald Vaughan has it. Donald Vaughan has a high ball into the corner forward, Dermot Fitz. Cahill Walsh carries it there. Gets it out the side. Going to the Donald Vaughan. Donald going through and pass it towards his neighbour and teammate John Pine. He's batted there to the rescue for the Bridge. Pine now has it. Pine going through. Pine had a great first start here last Sunday. Good ball in first level Fitzgerald, but I'm afraid that bounced the ball beats him and it's a line ball to Sixmilebridge. Clarecastle appear to be trying a tactic here of three midfielders, in that they have Brendan Brown, originally selected as left corner forward, who's playing as a midfielder. Interesting tactic here. This line ball will be taken by Sixmilebridge wing back Barry Down. Barry, brother of Minster, Corey Down. And so the Walsh has been stuck in the players to have to stand for this line ball. Taken well by Barry Down. The ball is won by Joe O'Mara. Good ball in by O'Mara in towards the full forward Brendan Murphy. Murphy beaten by Declan Murphy, his namesake, goes to Donald Vaughan. Donald going through now, takes it on towards Alan Keogh. Keogh in a good position now to score, drops to Hurley, or it seems to be knocked out of his hand rather. However, Kevin Walsh sees it otherwise. He blames the Magpie for dropping the Hurley and gives a free out to the Bridge. My analyst here is unhappy with that decision. There will be another free out to the Bridge to be taken by their fullback Declan Murphy. Declan hits it again, short one high-ish, up towards the number 12, Gregory Deegan, the team captain, pulled on the ground by Kevin Phelan, and it's a line ball to Clarecastle. And this one will be taken by their number 5, I think. No, he's leaving it to the number 4. And Farmer. No, that's taken by Brian McMahon. So Brian McMahon here playing at left half back. And switch with the wing back Oliver Plunkett. Takes it short. Ball is L2, he's going through it now. Trying to get in there, has a good chance, yeah. Overdid it a bit, and Kevin Walsh was awarded a free out to the Magpies. Pretty much stalemate so far and all. Neither team getting into a pattern. Interesting this play by Clarecastle having three midfielders. How do you see that?
Well, yes, it was a tactic we noticed very early on here. I think it would be a good move if it's used properly. I see at the moment the space all seems to be out in that left corner position, and it's not really working to Clarecastle's advantage. But I think if it's used properly, and young Fitzgerald is given more space inside, he's a match winner. He's certainly the best forward in Clare in my opinion.
Thanks, Noel. You're deliberately trying to create space for Dermot Fitz and B. Murphy, as you call him, inside. But Declan Murphy from the Bridge is on top there, as is the left half back Barry Downs. Good clearance by Downs. Taken by Joe O'Mara. Joe O'Mara blocked down. Joe O'Mara again along the ground. Ball is going back towards the Bridge, the Clarecastle cornerback John Farmer. I think at this stage last Sunday, I think Clarecastle were leading by 3 or 4 points, but much closer today so far.
Yes, very close, Chair. I've seen these teams play, as I said, in the last 2 occasions, and there hasn't been a puck of the ball between them. I think, this game could hinge on a mistake or a flash of brilliance. And as I say, I believe if Fitzgerald is given the ball, he's capable of doing that. Very, very close game and very hard to call.
Thanks, Noel. I suppose you have to fault Donald Vaughan for kind of giving in high ball when Fitzgerald was near him. Vaughan won some very good ball there, but insisted on kind of carrying it and rather than letting it in fast to Fitzgerald. John Farmer here, good clearance for Clarecastle. Up towards the team captain Gregory Deegan. Deegan, who had a great second half here last Sunday. High ball in towards his forwards. The ball is won by Brian Casey, but fails to hold it. And the ball is taken by Oliver Plunkett. Plunkett is fouled, a free out to Clarecastle. Oliver, son of the former senior star, Oliver Plunkett. Very, very tidy and steady wing back indeed, or cornerback for that matter. Ball to be pucked out, or the free out to be taken by the centre back, Derek Healy, wearing number 3. Now, in along the ground, John Farmer now going for Johnny Swords. Ball is flicked out by Rory Concannon. Goes through the number 9, Earl Toohey. Toohey playing very well in the early stages for the Bridge today, even though he was substituted last Sunday. In towards Brian Casey. Nails hits it short, blocked down. In towards Johnny Swords. But Swords' shot is, yes, taken by the goalie. Noel Flannery tries to get it, but he's partially blocked down, and the ball goes to the right and wide. So good chance of a goal there for the Bridge, but Clarecastle back very alert to the cause. So we have no score in this 1995 Minor A Hurling Championship final replay. And the puck out to be taken by John Casey. Out towards the left half-forward position. Going for his Kevin Phelan and John Pine. It's won by Pine. Pine, good ball in towards his teammate, in towards Dermot Fitzgerald. Coming out there is Declan Murphy. Declan, good clearance from Declan. Out towards Noel Flannery and Plunkett. Ball is won by John Redden, flicks it on towards Noel Flannery. Flannery going through now. In towards Johnny Soares. Johnny Soares tussling with John Farmer. Soares has it. High ball in by Soares towards his full forward, in towards Gregory Earls. Earls fails to get it. Goes towards Errol Toohey. Toohey can't get it up. Rory Concannon there doing well for Clarecastle. Out towards the centre back, or the centre field player rather, Joe Quinn. And Pino has it, John Pine. Pursued there by two bridgemen, by Gregory Deegan and Stefan Fitzpatrick. Pino is fouled. And Clarecastle are awarded a free out. And this will be taken by the team captain, Derek Healy, known as Speedy. So Clarecastle hoping to not let the Bridge into a commanding lead in the first half, as happened last Sunday. Good ball in by Healy down towards Pine and Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald and Cahill Walsh going for it. Fitzgerald going through now to his favourite left side, but unfortunately doesn't strike it, and goes to Declan Murphy. Declan coming out for the Bridge. Declan playing very well now in the early stages after getting a roasting in the first half last Sunday by Brendan Murphy. But Declan's making sure that won't happen today. Now, Brendan Brown there for Clarecastle. Kind of a speculative ball indeed. Goes to Declan Murphy and Brendan Murphy, and in fact this is a clearance by Declan Murphy there. Big high clearance down the field towards John Farmer and Johnny Swords. Swords has it. Swords going through now. Good chance for Swords. Out to the rescue is Rory Concannon. Good work by Concannon there. And Concannon clears the ball down the field. Waiting for it is Gregory Deegan. Gregory Deegan and Brendan Brown, the third midfielder. Right. And good work there by Joe Quinn. Joe Quinn blocked down by Johnny Swords. By John Redden, I should say. Good work there by Deegan. Lays it off to his centre back, Stefan Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick off his right down the field towards Johnny Swords. Swords now having a great tussle with John Farmer. But going through here now is Errol Toohey. Errol Toohey appears to be fouled. No, he was in fact just tackled by the Clarecastle men. Johnny Swords has it. Swords fixed it across the goal towards Errol's. Errol's well beaten there by Rory Concannon, and in fact it's a clash and the ball is wide. No score yet in this 1995 Minor A Hurling Championship final replay, as both sides now tussling on these puckouts. Clarecastle still persevering with the idea of the third midfielder, creating space inside for Dermot Fitz. Ball is won by Stefan Fitzpatrick, the Bridge centre back. Stefan going through off his right. Kind of a speculative ball in, but goes to the left and wide. Amazing that we have no score yet today, Noel. Both teams trying to get into a pattern of play, but very little between them, as you say. The third midfielder idea isn't really working, is it?
Not really at the moment, Ger. No, it's kind of the game hasn't developed a pattern yet, and it's just tit for tat at the moment. It's fairly evident in the last few minutes that Stefan Fitzpatrick seems to be getting on top there in the half back line, and I think that's an ominous sign for Clarecastle, because this guy's a fine hurler when he gets going at full pelt, and he's cleared a lot of ball lately. So I think John Pine will have to sit in him a bit more, but still a very close game, hard to call.
Interesting, when you consider last week that both Declan Murphy and Stefan Fitzpatrick had a very difficult first half. They're both playing very well today indeed. So the Bridge obviously trying to patch up early on and not to let Clarecastle get an early lead. Alton Heffernan's clearance back down by Pine. Pine going through there onto Alan Keogh. Keogh's fouled. Keogh's fouled by Heffernan. And we will have a free in for Clarecastle to be taken, I would imagine, by John Pine. No, in fact, he's leaving it to his team captain, Derek Healy. So Derek Healy, known as Speedy, will take this and try and open the score in this 1995 Minor A Hurling final replay. So Speedy now hoping to open the Clarecastle account. Speedy, brother of Michael and Pat and James. Lovely striker of the ball, as indeed are all the Healys. But this is to the left and wide. So still scoreless in this 1995 Minor A Hurling Championship final replay, as Paddy Meehan here urges on his charges to greater effort. And the puck out taken short this time by Declan Murphy. Goes towards John Redden. Redden, a very good rangy hurler. Strikes it high in towards his forwards. Coming for it again is Farmer and Swords. Ball flicked clear there by Rory Concannon. Out towards Johnny Swords. Swords in a good ball towards Concannon. Concannon just fails to hold it. The ball is won by the Clarecastle cornerback. Good work there by McNamara, who's also an under 15 player. Down the field towards Alan Keogh. Keogh, a very strong, resolute player here. In fact, I earlier described John Casey as being the youngest player on the field at 15. I think Mark McNamara is also the same age, but playing very well, very steady last Sunday as well. So we now have a line ball for the Bridge to be taken by their centre field player, I think. Yes, John Redden to take this ball. Referee Kevin Walsh trying to make sure the players are the required distance back. It often happens that replays can be totally different to a drawn game. This is the case today, a very tense game indeed, both teams trying to get on top, but very little between them. As John Redden now is finally going to take this line ball off his favoured left side. Takes a chart. Ball goes towards the team captain Gregory Deegan. Gregory Deegan now pursued by Alan Keogh. Keogh flicks it off. Ball goes to Brendan Brown. Deegan on the ground, in towards his forwards. Goes towards Brian Casey. Brian Casey known as Nails. Nails going through now, tackled by two Clarecastle men. Yes, well tackled by Clarecastle. Goes to Gregory Earls. Gregory Earls. No, in fact, there's a word of some sort of giving out there by Brian Casey, dissent. And referee Kevin Walsh is not having any of it, so he's going to book Brian Casey. Brian Casey, brother of Noel and Michael Casey, known as Nails. So Kevin Walsh will not have people talk to him like that. So he's getting his name in Kevin Walsh's little black book. A little bit of indiscipline there by Brian Casey, totally unnecessary. Seeing that the Bridge were in an attacking position. Bad idea there for a player to get booked in such a situation, Noel.
Certainly, Jerry. Yes, but there's a very interesting there's a very interesting tussle developing up there between this Casey and Rory Concannon. In my opinion, he's the Bridge's best forward, possibly a match winner like our own Dermot Fitzgerald. But he's on a guy today, Concannon, who's back in his best position at full back, and there's a very interesting confrontation happening in there.
Yeah, thanks, Noel. Errol Toohey now going through for the Bridge, playing well. Toohey, ball in towards the square, going for his Gregory Earls, but well taken by John Casey. The young Magpie here, good clearance by Casey. Out towards his forwards, out towards Donald Vaughan and John Redden. Redden has it. It's an in dropping short and to the left and wide. Yes, the Bridge now have Brian Casey, Nails playing full forward in a direct switch with the original full forward Gregory Earls. So Gregory, wearing 11, is now playing in the left corner. And still we have no score in this 1995 Minor A Hurling final replay. Good puck up by John Casey, aiming towards Alan Keogh, and goes towards John Pine. John Pine doing a lot of sweeping today now, goes towards Donald Vaughan, but still John Redden has it. John Redden playing very well, good ball in by the ground, in towards his teammate. His teammate is Noel Flannery. Noel Flannery towards Gregory Earls. Gregory Earls has it. Earls shot partially blocked down, goes towards Casey, flick on by Casey towards the number 18. Number 18 is Barry Murphy, and Barry Murphy's shot is to the right and wide. I can see Michael Swords here, Johnny's father, and very frustrated here at the lack of scoring by the Bridge, in spite of the fact they've had some good opportunities. I see Noel Murphy here underneath, the father of fullback Declan, and Pat Chaplin. Also disappointed with the Bridge's tally so far, as indeed I'm sure the Clarecastle mentors Pádraig Russell, Sparrow Loughlin and Anthony Daly. Now the Bridge here, creating a lot of good chances in the forwards of late, but all to no avail, as John Casey of Clarecastle is about to take another puck out. John, out to the left-hand side again of midfield, goes towards Gregory Deegan. Ball is won by Brian McMahon, and Brian McMahon, long clearance in towards his full forward line. Ball is taken by the number 7, Barry Downs. Barry, short clearance up in the air towards centre field, and the ball is flicked there by Brendan McMahon, goes towards the centre back and captain Derek Healy, wearing number 3. Short clearance by Healy, goes to the original centre back who lined out in midfield, Joe Quinn. Joe Quinn towards Donald Vaughan. Now Vaughan going through, and Fitzgerald inside on his own. Vaughan is blocked down there by Barry Downs. Good work there by Barry Downs, and Joe Murray into the rescue for Clarecastle. Now Joe has a good chance of a score. And Joe's shot, unfortunately for Clarecastle, is to the left and wide. And we still unbelievably have no score in this 1995 Minor A hurling final replay. Great work there, must be said, by the Bridge defence, particularly by left half back Barry Downs. Puck out taken again by Declan Murphy. Out towards Barry Murphy, his namesake. And the ball goes towards the number 5 there, Brendan McMahon. And Johnny Swords again, a great tussle with John Farmer Swords. Yes, Farmer has won it. Out towards the number 12, the team captain, Gregory Deegan. Gregory Deegan now pursued by Alan Keogh, loses it. And it's a line ball, and this will be a line ball to Clarecastle. And this will be taken by their left half back, number 5, Brendan McMahon. No, in fact, he's leaving it to Brendan Brown. Brendan, who didn't play in the drawing game, now Brown has changed his mind and leaves it to Brian McMahon. Sixmilebridge now making further switches in their forward line. They're switching Johnny Swords and Noel Flannery, I see. Johnny has worked very hard now with the team and got a lot of ball in, but no scores yet. Long clearance here by Derek Speedy Healy in towards Brendan Murphy. Brendan Murphy flicks it across to Pino. Pino now to Fitzgerald, and I think we have the first score of the game. Yes, a great goal there by Dermot Fitzgerald after brilliant work by John Pine and Brendan Murphy. Excellent goal by Clarecastle to break the deadlock, and we now have Clarecastle leading by a goal to no score in this 1995 Minor A hurling final. Great goal there, Noel.
Oh, brilliant goal, brilliant goal. Great play by B. Murphy, John Pine, and finished by the man Fitz. This guy is lethal if he gets half a chance, and the more Clarecastle feed him, the better. This guy's a match winner.
And Sixmilebridge reply with their captain Gregory Digg hitting over a great point. So now that both teams have scored, I think there will be perhaps a release of tension in this final. John Casey with the puck out towards the left side of centre field as always to Alan Keogh. Keogh fails to get to the second time. Going forward now, pursued by his marker being Kevin Phelan. Low ball in towards Brendan Murphy. Brendan Murphy appeared to be fouled, Declan Murphy appeared to be fouled by Brendan Murphy, and the free out will be taken by Declan Murphy himself. Long clearance by Murphy down the field towards John Swords. Goes to the number 17 Brendan Murphy. High ball in towards his teammate Alan Keogh. But Keogh appears to push the Bridgeman. No, in fact it's a line ball, I think. Yes. Glenn O'Reilly has decided it will be a line ball. Yes, the line ball to the Bridge to be taken by the right half-back Kevin Phelan. So Kevin, it's a shot towards his teammate Nelson Heffernan. And another line ball, this time also to the Bridge. The Bridge are making further changes, trying to get their attack into gear. Gregory Earls, who was originally full forward, had been playing corner, now going centre forward to his original position. The Bridge doing everything in their power to try and get their team moving in the forward line. So yet another line ball to be taken by number 12, the team captain Gregory Deegan. Hits it poorly. Goes towards the number 8, Joe Mara. Joe Mara back to Deegan. Deegan going through now. Kicks it in towards his full forward line. Caught there by Barry Murphy. Fails to hold it. Barry Murphy goes to Gregory Earls. Gregory Earls with a shot. And Greg's shot is to the left and wide. And the score remains 1 goal for Clarecastle. A great score by Dermot Fitzgerald after great work by John Pine and Brendan Murphy. And a point for the Bridge by the team captain from play, Gregory Deegan. Pucked out by John Casey to John Redden. John Redden to John Pine. Pine in towards Dermot Fitzgerald. Carl Walsh chasing there. Good work by Walsh. Yes, but the ball goes over the line and we have a line ball to Clarecastle. And this line ball will be taken by midfielder Joe Mara. Joe, a member of the county under 16 team. Very skillful hurler indeed. And Joe will try and get his team now into a bigger lead even. They lead by 2 points in this 1995 Minor A final. Joe hits it low, crossed off the front of Patrick. Pulled in by Brendan Brown to Fitzgerald. Good chance for Clarecastle now. But Dermot Fitz's shot is only partially hit and it goes to the centre field for the Bridgeman John Redden. or Declan Murphy rather. Murphy coming out now loses it. Tussle here now, and the referee has seen a push by a Bridgeman, and he awards a free to Clarecastle. And this time the free will be taken by their centre forward, even though he wears number 10, John Pine. John Pine now been getting advice on the sidelines from the Sparrow. Sparrow, one of the three Clarecastle selectors, with Anthony Daly and Pádraig Russell. So Pine are now hoping to extend his team's lead. John Pine, son of former Clare star, Nair Oak star, Noel Pine, brother of David Pine, current Nair Oak star. So Pine hits it very high indeed, but not over the bar, dropping it in. And tussling there is Dermot Fitzgerald, pursued as always by Cathal Walsh. Half hits it goes to Kevin Phelan. Good work by Phelan, good clearance there by Kevin Phelan. Down the field was Gregory Earls and Derek Healy. But the ball goes to Mark McNamara, the Clarecastle cornerback. Down the field towards Joe O'Mara. Joe fails to connect, goes to Donald Vaughan. Big high ball in by Donald Vaughan towards his full forward line towards B. Murphy. B. Murphy has it, but is well chased by Elton Heffernan, and Declan Murphy has it. So Clarecastle again on attacking position there. Alan Keogh now working very hard for the Magpies as always, but Alan was pushed in the back, and referee Kevin Walsh has awarded a free to Clarecastle. And the taker again will be John Pine. So the game has livened up considerably now with the opening of the opening scores by each side.
Yes, Jared, the game has livened up a great deal, but I still think that both teams are implying very negative, for want of a better word, tactics. And the game seems to be very bunched in the middle of the field. All the space inside in the Clarecastle full forward line, but no ball seems to be gone in. This tactic of a third midfielder is fine if it's working right, but at the moment it's not. The idea of this is to get space for Fitz. Fitz is stuck out in the other corner. If that tactic is to be used, I think moving Fitz to full forward would be the idea. Other than that, I think drop it and put the midfielder back in.
Yes, the referee has awarded a free out there, as Brendan Murphy was in the square. Ironically, Clarecastle trying to open up the game, yet there for a free. They had a very crowded goal mouth indeed, with a lot of Clarecastle players back covering. So free out taken by Declan Murphy for the Bridge. Long clearance out the field goes to number 15, Noel Flannery. Flannery pursued by John Farmer. Flannery now showing great pace, getting through now. Good chance for the Bridge. Flannery appears to be fouled. No, he's not. Referee decides. And the ball is well taken by John Casey. Good clearance by Casey down towards Joe Quinn. Joe Quinn now tussling with his marker being Stephen Fitzpatrick, I think. No, John Redden, in fact. Now Stephen Fitzpatrick and John Redden appear to have switched as the ball goes to Dermot Fitz. Fitz pursued by Cathal Walsh. Fitz loses possession there, gets it back again. And onto his favourite left side. The ball is parried by the goalkeeper, Colm Noonan, at the expense of a 65. So 65 for Clarecastle, and the taker will be, I would imagine, Derek Speedy Healy. Yes, the Bridge have made the same switch they made last Sunday, a direct switch between Stephen Fitzpatrick and John Redden. And indeed, last Sunday it proved to be beneficial to both players into the team. So perhaps the same might happen today. So the score remains at Clarecastle 1 goal, Sixmilebridge 1 point. As Speedy Healy, the team captain for Clarecastle, Derek Healy, hopes to put his team further ahead. Hits it rather lazily, and it goes to the left and wide. A bad miss there really for Clarecastle.
Yes, bad miss. Derek Healy is certainly a better striker of the ball than that. He seems to have no problem with his length, but the problem seems to be the accuracy. Even if he was to drop him a bit shorter and into the full forward line, because certainly those two in the Clarecastle full forward line are capable of scoring.
Puck out taken by Declan Murphy now. Goes to Stephen Fitzpatrick, beaten by Healy. Healy appears to be held there by John Swords, yes indeed. And the referee has awarded a free to Clarecastle. And Healy himself will be the taker. It often happens that replays can be different at the drawn encounters. We had a more free-flowing game last Sunday. But today, as Noel said, players seem to be bunching a lot on both sides, with the result that defences are dominating. Down the field towards B. Murphy. Ball goes to Gregory Deegan. Gregory Deegan now pursued by Alan Keogh. Keogh wins it. Keogh, great grafter here. Good ball across, but the ball is read by Stephen Fitzpatrick. By John Redden, rather. Redden clears it. Out the field now towards the number 6 for Clarecastle, Joe Quinn. Joe Quinn is leaving it to Joe O'Mara, in fact. No, it's a sideline cross to Clarecastle, taken by Brendan Brown. Now this game today was preceded by the 15B final, which O'Callaghan's Mills won in a score of 2-1 to 6 points. Case again of defensive dominating. So the Bridge now hitting the ball. Long clears there by Ulton Heffer on the corner back. Down towards Derek Healy and Gregory Earls. The ball is won by Healy. Back towards the number 7, Oliver Plunkett. And referee has decided that in the interest of safety with Gregory Earls on the ground, he's awarding a throw-in. So going in for the throw-in now will be Stefan Fitzpatrick and I'm not sure what Clarecastle player, Joe Quinn I think, yeah. Flicked on by Quinn. Now down towards Donald Vaughan. Donald Vaughan appears to be pushed in the back there by his marker Barry Downs. Rather reckless pull there by a Bridgeman by Barry Downs. Ball goes to Joe Mara. Flick on to Vaughan. Vaughan pursued by Barry Downs. And in fact Barry Downs fouls Vaughan. So we have another free for Clarecastle, and the taker this time will be John Pine. John Pine, the 17-year-old Magpie, member of the St. Flannan's Hartgy Cup team this year. Hoping to open his own account, because he was the prominent player for the Clarecastle forward line last Sunday indeed, all through the game, from both frees and play. So hoping to try and score today for his side. Hits it well indeed, and over the bar. A lovely point for Clarecastle, scored by John Pine. So Clarecastle now leading by a clear goal, 1-1 to a point for the Bridge. Pucked up by Declan Murphy. On the field now. Tussling there is Kevin Phelan. Kevin gets it up. Kevin appears to be fouled. Yes, he was fouled by Alan Keogh. And we have a free to the Bridge. And it remains to be seen what the taker will be. The taker will be, I think, the centre back, John Redden. There's confusion here as to what it is, but I think it is a free to the Bridge, yes. And John Redden, who's now playing centre back, wearing number 8, will take this free for Sixmilebridge. Redden strikes from his left hand side. Hits it. Lowish and a bit short. Gregory Earls there and Derek Healy. Healy wins it. Healy playing well now. Gives to Joe O'Mara. Low ball by O'Mara down towards Alan Keogh. Keogh fails to win it. Goes to his marker Kevin Phelan. High ball by Kevin. Up the field now towards Oliver Plunkett. Plunkett loses it. Goes to the centre back and captain Derek Healy. Speedy with a bit of football. Hits it on towards his teammate Brendan Brown. Down towards Donald Vaughan. The big hand of Vaughan goes up. Vaughan pursued by Barry Downs. Barry Downs now having a torrid time of late with Vaughan. Good chance for Vaughan now to put his team into a further lead, but his shot is to the left and wide. So Clarecastle now leading by 1-1 to a point for Sixmilebridge. And we're nearing half time now in this 1995 Minor A Hurling Championship final. And yet another puck out by Sixmilebridge fullback Declan Murphy. Declan Murphy now pucks it out to the left hand side this time. Over towards Johnny Swords. Ball is won there by the Magpie. Magpie has it. And referee is deciding to call the first half to a halt, with Clarecastle leading by 1-1 to a point. So all in all, from a spectator point of view, a poor game.
Yeah, I suppose the quality of hurling isn't marvellous, but it's still, it's enjoyable, the fact that it's close and it's still very interesting. As I say, these teams have met. This is their third meeting, and there hasn't been a puck of the ball between them. I wasn't expecting there would be. The game isn't as free-flowing as last Sunday, or possibly the first evening they met down in Sixmilebridge in the league section, which, by the way, Clarecastle won by a point or two. But, you'd expect that when there's two so even teams that they're not going to be giving each other space, and there are match winners on both teams. I mean, without wanting to repeat myself, certainly Dermot Fitzgerald's match winner for Clarecastle if he gets enough of the ball. Young Casey, Brian, is it number 10?
Brian Casey, yeah.
He's certainly a match winner for the Bridge if he gets enough of the ball. I still think that either a touch of brilliance or a mistake will probably decide this game. It's so close, it's hard to call. I think Clarecastle will probably swing it though.
In the interest of the spectator, let's hope it's a touch of brilliance that will swing it. And as you say, both teams possess some very good hurlers indeed, but so far defence is dominating. We will resume for the second half shortly. Walter Overash, welcome back to the second half of the 1995 Minor A Hurling Championship final. Sixmilebridge have one change in the forward line, with John O'Mara coming in at full forward in place of Gregory Earls. So Clarecastle now in the second half have the same 15 players as they finished with. So for the Bridge in the second half, the full forward line is Noel Flannery, John O'Mara and Brian Casey. The half forward line, Johnny Swords. Stefan Fitzpatrick is now centre forward with left half forward Earl Toohey, I think, yes. Pulled in there by Clarecastle man Joe O'Mara. Goes to Kevin Phelan. Kevin loses it. Pursued as always by Alan Keogh. Keogh is penalised there for a kind of a high pull, and it will be a free out to the bridge taken by their fullback Declan Murphy. So as I said, the half-time score is still there at 1-1 for Clarecastle to a point for the bridge. Long clearance there by Declan Murphy for Clarecastle. Up the field goes to Stefan Fitzpatrick. Stefan Fitzpatrick now off his right. It's a low in towards Deegan. Coming for his John O'Mara. Flick on there by Joe Quinn. Good flick on by Quinn. Going for the ball now is Joe O'Mara. Joe O'Mara gets it in for Clarecastle. Aiming for the full forward line and Brendan Murphy. Murphy has it. Hits it short. Goes to Cathal Walsh. Cathal Walsh pursued by Dermot Fitz. And the ball is intercepted by the fullback Declan Murphy, and a good clearance for the bridge with Declan Murphy. L2 now going for the ball along the ground. Going for his Derry Keeley, Speedy, and his marker Stefan Fitzpatrick. And helping in there is Earl Toohey. Earl Toohey pursued by number 2 Mark McNamara. And Toohey is deemed to have fouled the ball, travelled a little bit by the referee, and a free out to Clarecastle ensues. So in the second half now, Sixmilebridge have their original centre forward, Barry Murphy, playing at midfield. John Redden continues the centre back with Stefan Fitzpatrick at centre forward. Now Dermot Fitz going through now, has a good chance of the ball, pursued by Cathal Walsh. Walsh plays well on him, Fitz crosses it. Ball has got away there by Declan Murphy. Declan Murphy to John Redden. Redden coming through, Redden a good hurler. Going through now, Redden pursued as always by his marker. And Redden is fouled there by Brendan Murphy. Rather awkward pull there by Brendan Murphy. I'd say unhappy that Clarecastle haven't scored more considering the amount of play they had in the early stages of the game. Clearance taken there now by Clarecastle. Or clearance taken by the bridge rather. And ball goes to John Pine. John Pine now lays it off to his teammate. His teammate and neighbour is Donald Vaughan. Donald Vaughan hits it short in towards the square, blocked there by Alton Heffernan. But Brendan Murphy's shot is very much to the right and wide. And the score remains 1-1 for Clarecastle to 1 point for Sixmilebridge. You look slightly frustrated there, Noel, at the way things are developing.
Yes, Chair. That was a terrible miss. That's very, very scoreable for a player of Brendan Murphy's calibre. He should be sticking those over the bar. This reminds me a little bit of the semi-final against St. Joseph's when Clarecastle hit a terrible amount of wides. And unless they get their act together, this will beat them in the end. There's another terrible wide. I mean, the guys at this level shouldn't be hitting balls wide like that. And knowing them as I do, I know they're capable of better. Maybe it's nerves, I don't know, but they certainly need to improve in their shoot.
Yes, a bad wide there by Donald Vaughan for Clarecastle. As the puck has to be taken by Declan Murphy, the bridge full back. Dropping short now, under it is John Redden. John Redden, a great catch there by Redden. It's into his forwards. Low ball onto Stefan Fitzpatrick. Stefan Fitzpatrick, a good low ball in towards Casey, goes to John O'Mara. John O'Mara lays it off. But when unfortunately the pass is intercepted, O'Mara going for it again. And there for the rescue is the Magpie Mark McNamara. Out towards a bridge man, but flicked on there by Clarecastle man. Yes. Stefan Fitzpatrick going through now, good chance for the bridge. Fitzpatrick's shot is partially blocked down. And there to the rescue is the Clarecastle cornerback John Farmer. And Farmer's shot is over the line. So a Sixmilebridge line ball. And this will be taken by, I think, by Earl Toohey, who's now playing at wing forward for Sixmilebridge. Earl cuts it well towards the full forward position. John O'Mara gets through there, doesn't connect. And there to the rescue is Rory Concannon, I think, the Clarecastle fullback. And towards Brendan McMahon. Brendan McMahon to Alan Keogh. Keogh fails to get it up. Ball is won by number 18 for the bridge is Barry Murphy. Barry Murphy's shot is out over the line, I think. Yes. Clarecastle very united that it would appear the ball went off Brendan Murphy's leg. Yet it is a line ball to the bridge. But this line ball will be taken by their number 12, the captain, Gregory Deegan. Gregory, shot is in towards the full forward line, but it's going to go over the line, and John O'Mara can't keep it in play, and it's to the right and wide. So I think in fairness, justice done there, as it should have been a Clarecastle line ball, I thought. Now my analyst disagrees with me here. He claims it was a Sixmilebridge ball, but however. Now out towards Joe O'Mara, Joe Quinn rather. Going to the ball there is John Redden. John Redden playing very well on this third quarter. Is it number 7? Number 7 is Oliver Plunkett. Good clearance by Plunkett up the field towards his forwards, towards Vaughan. Donald Vaughan going for the ball. They're taking this Cathal Walsh for the bridge. Cathal Walsh playing well now in this stage of the game. Out the field towards Stephen Fitzpatrick. Flicked on there by Noel Flannery. Noel Flannery to John O'Mara. But I'm afraid the ball's going to go very much wide. So Rory Concannon there in control against John O'Mara. John, who played its right corner forward the left day, was not selected to start the replay, but he's in now. And knowing John as I do, he'll be very anxious to make an early impression. So yet another puck out for Clarecastle to be taken by their goalkeeper, John Casey. John out towards Joe O'Mara. Joe O'Mara fails to get it, goes to John Redden. John Redden now playing very well. Flicked on there by Errol Toohey, I think. Flicked on there by John Pine. Goes to Alton Heffernan. Alton Heffernan appears to have crossed the line. Yes, he does. And Flann O'Reilly, the Cratloe linesman, decided that it will be a line ball to Clarecastle. This will be taken by Joe O'Mara. So Joe O'Mara now appears to be trying to get his ball into his forward line. I think Alan Keogh could well be the target. Well, in fact, I think he's changed his mind. I think he's going for John Pine. No, Alan Keogh, yes. And Greg Deegan has it. Here's the Keogh. Keogh going through a very strong player back to Joe O'Mara. High centre from Joe. In towards the full forward line. In towards Brendan Murphy. And we have an own goal for Clarecastle. It would appear that it was scored by the Sixmilebridge cornerback Alton Heffernan. Was that how you saw it, Noel?
Yes, it was certainly an own goal, Ger, but great ball in from Joe O'Mara there. Joe O'Mara is a very, very good hurler, and if he gets space, he'll hit in a lot of good balls like that. As I said earlier on, a mistake or a piece of luck or a piece of brilliance. Well, it was certainly a piece of luck, but we'll take all the luck we can get. Good goal for Clarecastle.
So very disappointed there for Alton Heffernan, who had been playing very well at cornerback for the Bridge. But the ball went off his hurley there, and this further increased the Clarecastle score. Clarecastle now leading by 2 goals and 1 point to a point. John Redden now takes this free. Was in towards Joe Quinn. Joe Quinn appeared to be fouled there by Noel Flannery, and the referee has awarded a free out to Clarecastle. So Clarecastle now in a very commanding position, leading by 2 goals. The Bridge, playing quite well, but unfortunately for them, not able to get on the scoreboard. So I think Clarecastle are slightly flattered with their 6-point lead. But at the same time, as my analyst says, you take all the scores that come your way. So Derek Healy now the Clarecastle captain, good clearance up the field. Out towards John Pine. Pine fails to hold it. Goes towards Donald Vaughan. Going for the ball now is John Redden. John Redden playing very well indeed in the second half for Sixmilebridge as centre back. Insists on these long solo runs though. Perhaps he should let the ball go. In towards number 9. Number 9 is Errol Toohey. Errol Toohey there tussling with Brendan McMahon. Ball goes to Joe O'Mara. Joe neat sidestep, gets out of trouble there. And ball goes to John Redden. John Redden is hooked by John Pine. Quick clearance by Pine up the field towards Dermot Fitzgerald and Cathal Walsh. Neither of them gets it, goes to Declan Murphy. Declan now playing very well at fullback for the Bridge. Going out the field in a short clearance taken by his team captain, Greg Deegan. Greg Deegan going through now. Deegan playing quite well, perhaps not as influential as last Sunday, but nevertheless important player. Goes to Noel Flannery. Flannery going through now, pursued by a couple of Clarecastle men. And there would be a free. There would appear to be a foul there. Yes, Brian Casey would appear to have fouled Rory Concannon, and consequently it will be a free out to Clarecastle. And the taker will be Speedy, Derek Healy, as Clarecastle lead by 2 goals and a point to a point. So Derek now with a long strike, I'd imagine, up the field. Not so long, but gets it out towards Joe O'Mara. Good ball, well hit, well placed. Joe O'Mara into the corner towards Fitz. Fitz now and Cathal Walsh beats the 2 of them. Going for the ball now is Declan Murphy. Declan Murphy pursued by his namesake, Brendan Murphy. Across the field to number 8, John Redden. Great control by Redden up the field towards Fitzpatrick. The Bridge playing quite well, but unfortunately not on the scoreboard, as the ball goes to Greg Deegan. Deegan pursued now by Speedy. The 2 captains now on each other for the moment. Deegan going through. Deegan, great player, going through. Good chance of a score now. Yes. Yes, there appears to be a penalty, yes. Referee Kevin Walsh has decided that there was a Bridgeman foul there. I think the man that was fouled was possibly Errol Toohey, not quite sure. And the taker, I think, will be Stefan Fitzpatrick. So great chance now for the Bridge to try and put their name on the scoreboard for another score. Sixmilebridge's only score was a point by the team captain Gregory Deegan directly after the Clarecastle goal by Derek Fitzgerald. Clarecastle left since added a point by John Pint from a free and a goal scored by the Bridge cornerback Ulton Heffernan. So Stefan Fitzpatrick now trying to goal for the Bridge, which he fails to do. The ball is cleared there by Speedy Healy, and Clarecastle are attacking again. Ball goes to Noel Flannery. Noel Flannery pursued there by Mark McNamara. Flannery crosses it in towards John Amara. John has it now. John fails to hold it. Won there by the Magpie. Magpie's Rory Concannon. Concannon, I'm afraid, has lost control of the ball and given away a 65. So the score remains Clarecastle leading by 2 goals and a point to 1 point for Sixmilebridge. Uncharacteristic error there by Rory Concannon, but still he was under a lot of pressure and is doing well.
Yes, sure. Rory's done very well in full back, but that was a brilliant save by young John Casey in there. You know, and people say goalkeepers don't win matches, but I think as Davy Fitz proved that he's brilliant. I think as Davy Fitz proved that he's brilliant save last Sunday, they do, and that could well turn out to be the turning point of this game. Really top class save by young Casey there.
Yes, John Casey very prominent indeed in the game. A very young player with a great future, as you've often said to me. So the Bridge now desperately in the need of a score, and unfortunately there, John Redden losing control of the ball, and the line ball will be taken by the Magpies. And the taker here I think will be Oliver Plunkett. Now Clarecastle of course won the under 16A title last year, so quite a lot of these players are only 17 years of age and some even younger. So Clarecastle now doing very well indeed, defence playing very well. As the ball goes to the team captain Derek Healy. Derek Speedy Healy now, long clearance, typical Healy style. Reminiscent of his brother Pat up the field towards Dermot Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald now going through, pursued by Kevin Phelan I think. Good chance for Fitzgerald now, crosses it out. Right, the ball goes to Brendan Brown. Brendan Brown now has goal. Brendan Brown has scored a goal for Clarecastle. Great work there, must be said, by Dermot Fitzgerald. Good cross, looked speculative indeed, but Brendan Brown was there to finish it. And he puts Clarecastle into a very, very commanding position indeed now, as they lead by 3 goals and a point to a point. So it looks now as if Clarecastle are going to win this 1995 Minor A title unless we have a big comeback from the Bridge. Alan Keogh now going through. High centre in towards Brendan Murphy. Waiting for it inside is Declan Murphy, playing very well for the Bridge at full back. Clarecastle, who last won the minor championship in 1987, and before that in 1986, when there was a very young Noel Considine in goal. So Clarecastle now have been out of the minor titles for a few years. They won 3 titles in the 80s, 1981, that famous controversial one, the very controversial semi-final between Clarecastle and Feakle, which a lot of us will remember, I'm sure. But Clarecastle proving too strong for the Mills in the final. In 1986, they again won the title, and again in 1987. So the Bridge now attacking. John Redden, good clearance as always, up the field. Brendan McMahon there doing well for Clarecastle. Clarecastle now attacking indeed. There's number 6, Joe Quinn, playing midfield. Good ball in towards Brendan Murphy. Goes to Fitzgerald, but Colm Noonan deals with that one adequately indeed. Gets it out the field. Joe Quinn takes it. Going for the ball now is I think it's Kevin Phelan, is it? No, it's Gary Downs in fact. And John Farmer here now. A clearance at the expense of a line ball would be a line ball to the Bridge, and the taker would be, I think, Brian Casey, known as Nails. So Clarecastle, as I said, last won the minor title in 1987 when they defeated Wolf Tones, and before that they had won in 1986 when they defeated Newmarket. So Clarecastle now looking very, very likely winners of the 1995 Minor A Hurling Championship title. John Amara there tussling for the ball. Going for it is Brian Casey. Brian Casey Nails, loses it. Goes to Joe Amara. Joe Amara now back to Brian Casey. Casey now going through. Casey's foul there by number 5, Brendan McMahon. And there will be a free into Sixmilebridge. Now I would imagine Sixmilebridge will try and engineer a goal here. Do you think so, Noel?
Yeah, Chair, I suppose they will. There's still a good bit of time to go. I think at the moment it's looking like we're going to take it. You know, the Bridge don't really look like a team that are capable of getting a couple of goals to me. But you know, as Scariff found out to their cost last Sunday, you underestimate Sixmilebridge at your peril. At the moment, it's looking like Clarecastle though.
So Noel Flannery now puts it over the bar, and Sixmilebridge now have scored 2 points with 3-1 for Clarecastle. Yes, indeed, it would be very, very dangerous to underestimate Sixmilebridge. They have pulled matches out of the fire before, but their position now today looks very difficult indeed. But who knows? John Casey takes the puck out towards centre field. Parried there by Barry Downs, I think. Bogusters Alan Keogh. Alan Keogh and John Redden. Redden has it. Redden fouled by Alan Keogh and will be a free out to Sixmilebridge. So this free will be taken by Redden himself, who has played centre back now in the second half. Takes it short up the field towards Brian Casey. Brian Casey now leaves it inside to his teammate, Earl Toohey. Casey going through now. Very strong player, Casey. But his shot is deflected, I think, by the Clarecastle captain, Derek Healy, at the expense of a 65. So the Bridge now trying everything to try and get back into the game in terms of scores. And they have won themselves a 65, and the taker will be John Redden. John, a number of 16-year-olds in the Bridge team. The others being the goalkeeper, Colm Noonan, John Amar, the full forward, and Stefan Fitzpatrick. So takes it in towards the 21-yard line. Tossing for there is Casey. Casey going through now, but well stopped by Magpies. Gets it back towards Earl Toohey. Earl Toohey's shot is blocked down. Good work there by the number 12 brother, I think, Rory Concannon. John Pine there to help out for Clarecastle. Up the field towards Alan Keogh and Barry Downs. Clicked on there by Donald Vaughan. Donald Vaughan hasn't quite got it, goes to Redden. Redden not playing very well. Down the field towards Johnny Soares. Johnny Soares is fouled by Oliver Plunkett, and Sixmilebridge have yet another free in. And the taker this time will be Noel Flannery, who scored from a point there just short minutes ago. Sixmilebridge have decided to introduce a substitute. So into the fray comes Jim Spate. So Jim Spate is coming in as right corner back. Alton Heffernan is going to midfield. And Kevin Phelan, the original right half back, who had been playing at left half back, is now going into the attack, as Noel Flannery tries to score for Sixmilebridge. Will he take his point or will he lob it in, hoping to engineer a goal? No, he takes it and puts it over the bar, I think. Yes. Point for the Bridge there by Noel Flannery. The score is now Clarecastle 3 goals and 1 point, Sixmilebridge 3 points. 2 of those points have been scored by Noel Flannery from frees, with the point from play by team captain Greg Deegan. Clarecastle now leading by 3 goals and a point to 3 points. Puck out taken by John Casey, won by Stefan Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick now going through, been chased by Alan Keogh and by Brendan McMahon. Fitzpatrick showing great control there, goes through. Good ball into his forward line, but it's going to go to the left and harmlessly wide indeed. So the Bridge now trying desperately for scores, been urged on here now by their mentors, Pat Chaplin, Michael Swords, Peter Fitzpatrick and Paddy Meehan, trying to inspire them to greater efforts. Clarecastle now going through. Good ball in there now. And yes, Declan Murphy is fouled by his namesake, and it will be free out to the Bridge, and the take will be yet again John Redden. So John Redden decides to leave it to Declan Murphy, and we have Brian Casey now down. Doesn't appear to be too badly injured. Having a great tussle now with Brendan Brown. But both players now guilty of some rather unsporting behaviour. And Brian Casey is already booked. And referee will now put Brendan McMahon's, not Brendan Brown, Brendan McMahon's name into his book now, yeah. Or Brian McMahon, I should say. So Brian McMahon of Clarecastle now being booked by referee Kevin Walsh of Wolf Tones. Both Brian Casey and Brian McMahon there had a little get-to-know-you session, and results in Brian McMahon's book been put into the notebook by Kevin Walsh. So it'll be interesting to see what the referee will do now. It should have been possibly a free from where the ball landed, but he's going back now to here now to the Sixmilebridge own 70-yard line. And the free taker will be John Redden, who's very anxious to take it quickly. High ball in towards the square. Tussling inside for it now is Greg Deegan. Greg Deegan gets it but loses it again. There covering is Derek Healy. Work by Healy. Deegan going through now. Clarecastle, great work, great defence by Healy. And Healy out the field. And going for now is Donald Vaughan. Donald fails to get it up. Pursued now by Alton Heffernan, who's coming out to the half-back line. Good work there by John Redden, who's playing outstandingly well for Sixmilebridge. Goes to Brian Casey. Brian Casey and John Pine. Neither win it. It goes to Johnny Swords. Johnny Swords now receives a little chip on the head. And Kevin Walsh has decided to award a free to Sixmilebridge. And the taker as always will be John Redden. So Sixmilebridge now trailing by 7 points. Clarecastle leading by 3-1 to 3 points. And Joe Amara there is to the rescue there for Clarecastle. And yet another chop down, and referee has awarded another free to the bridge. Clarecastle now perhaps showing a little bit of indiscipline there, in the sense there's no need to foul. They're in control in the back, and it's just a matter of clearing the ball out the sides. But nevertheless, the bridge have failed to take any goals from all these opportunities to freeze they've had. So Flannery this time now, I think, will hit it over the bar to try and reduce the lead to 6 points. If Flannery takes his point, 4 point for Sixmilebridge, a 3rd point for Noel Flannery. Clarecastle is still leading by 6 points, Noel, and it looks very much a Clarecastle title.
Yes, Chair, I'm not sure how much time is left, but it's a strange kind of a game, really. Sixmilebridge have been well on top in the second half, and if Clarecastle don't stop giving away silly frees like that, it's one of many that they could be in trouble. It's just, you know, both teams have scored 4 times. Just Clarecastle have got the goal, but the Bridge are well on top now, and you know, if they get a goal, anything could happen. I still say Clarecastle will probably hold on though.
Strange, perhaps if the Bridge had taken points from all those frees, they could be level now. They seem to be going for goals, maybe panicked a little bit early. And yet another free for Sixmilebridge. So I mean, I think time now is not on the side of the Bridge, but they have a free now from the 21, and I would imagine that Noel Flannery will decide to go for a goal. Is he going to take it himself, or is he leaving it to Fitzpatrick? No, he's taking it himself. No, Stefan Fitzpatrick will take this 21-yard free for Sixmilebridge as they trail now by 6 points. Fitzpatrick's shot is over the bar. Five points now between the teams as we enter the closing stages of this 1995 Minor A hurling final. Puck out now won by Brian Casey, fails to hold it. Goes towards Alan Keogh. Alan Keogh has played very well for Clarecastle, very, very tenacious player indeed. Beaten on this occasion by Barry Downs. Barry Downs now going through. Barry Downs for the Bridge. High centre in towards Earl Toohey. Earl Toohey and Concannon. Toohey wins it. Appears to be held, but referee gives him advantage. So Toohey's shot is blocked down there by Rory Concannon, I think. Great work there by Clarecastle as the ball is clear there by Joe Quinn, I think. Ball goes in towards Dermot Fitz. Or no, John Pine, who's discarded the helmet rather. Good chance for Clarecastle here now. Yes, and Clarecastle I think have another goal. Great work there by the goalkeeper Colm Noonan. But Brendan Murphy pulls on it. Is he going to get it the second time? No. Ball goes wide. So Clarecastle could really have sewn it up there with that effort. But great leadership been shown by Clarecastle, particularly by their more experienced players, the likes of Speedy and John Pine and Oliver Plunkett indeed, and by perhaps a not so experienced player at centre field, Joe Amara and all. Would you agree?
Oh, certainly, Chair. The blocking and the hooking by the Clarecastle backs is brilliant in there, and we had a chance to wrap it up there, but that was a great save by the Bridge goalkeeper. He was very brave, stopping almost certain goal from Fitzy. But Clarecastle backs are certainly playing very, very well and sticking their body where some people wouldn't stick hurleys. Really, really great stuff from the Clarecastle backs. Speedy Healy in particular having a great game in there.
Yes, another great clearance there from Derek Healy, the Clarecastle captain, up towards Cahill Walsh. Good clearance by Walsh down towards the number 7, Oliver Plunkett. Plunkett hits it quickly, goes towards John Pine. Pine has discarded the helmet. High centre by Pine in towards his full forward line towards Brendan Murphy. Now Brendan Murphy can't get it up. Declan Murphy there on the ground. Referee has decided to award a free into Clarecastle. Yes. I'm not sure what happened there, Noel. How did you see it?
I'm not too sure, Ger. I wasn't certain what happened myself. I was actually looking down the other end of the field at something. But it's a very welcome free for Clarecastle, and it's one that John Pine should send out into the guards' barracks. Hopefully. That will certainly be the insurance point. Will put us 6 points ahead. Although, as I say, against the Bridge, you never know. But certainly it's looking like Clarecastle now. This just should be a very easy score for a player of John Pine's calibre.
So Sixmilebridge now trailing by 5 points, as John Pine of Clarecastle aims to put his team another point ahead, which he does. So Clarecastle now have restored their 6-point advantage, and they look on odds-on favourites now for this 1995 Minor A hurling title, taking the crown from the current holder Sixmilebridge, who in fact won it last year at Clarecastle's expense. So puck out taken there now by Colm Noonan, goes to John Pine. John Pine there blocked down by Kevin Phelan. Kevin Phelan towards Brian Casey. Rather high pull there by Kevin Phelan, but the referee gives advantage. John Redden there beaten by Joe O'Mara. Joe O'Mara twisting there with Donald Vaughan. And it comes to the Magpie Joe O'Mara. But great work there by Alton Heffernan, who's come out now on the half back line in recent times. Ball won by Brian McMahon. Brian McMahon to Joe Quinn. Joe Quinn out to Alan Keogh. Alan Keogh been chased by Barry Downs. Alan Keogh appeared to be fouled by Downs, but nevertheless referee doesn't think so. Barry Downs now going through. Barry Downs not able to get the clearance in now, working hard. Alton Heffernan. Alton now working hard, trying to get the ball in for the Bridge. Ball goes towards the number 4. Number 4 is John Farmer. John Farmer keeps it in play, gets it up the field towards Brendan Brown. Brendan Brown now going through. Brendan Brown, the scorer of the third Clarecastle goal. Good centre in towards the full forward line. But there to take it is the Bridge goalie, Colm Noonan. And Colm Noonan has fouled the ball, and he shows his displeasure with the goalkeeper. Yes. Another name in the book of referee, Brendan Walsh. Or Kevin Walsh, rather. So Kevin Walsh has now booked the Sixmilebridge goalie, Colm Noonan. And this will be another free for Clarecastle. Presumably John Pine will take the point. In fact, he's put off the goalkeeper from Sixmilebridge. So Colm Noonan has been sent off by referee Kevin Walsh. I think probably for throwing the hurling all. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'd say so, Ger. Total lack of discipline from the Sixmilebridge goalkeeper, because he's a good little goalie, this fella, and you got to keep your head in that position, as we all know. It's very silly to get sent off for something so trivial.
And John Pine puts it over the bar to extend Clarecastle's lead. So Sixmilebridge now in a very desperate position, having been reduced to 14 men. And Clarecastle very much in control indeed. So the score is now Clarecastle 3 goals and 3 points. Sixmilebridge 5 points. And a clearance there by John Redden. Intercepted by John Pine, leads it to Donald Vaughan. A big long strike by Donald Vaughan. But this is to the right and wide. So puck out now taken by the Bridge. Question Brian Casey, but loses it. Ball is won by Casey again. Right? And referee Kevin Walsh has penalised the Clarecastle players for dissent. So Casey will take this himself, I think. Yes. But hits it rather short and high up towards Greg Deegan. But there, as always, for Clarecastle is their captain, Derek Healy. So Alan Keogh tussling there with Alton Heffernan. But the ball goes to Brian McMahon. So Brian McMahon has played very solidly for Clarecastle. Temper is a little bit fraying at the moment now on both sides, I think. Sixmilebridge very disappointed with their scoring today. They had the opportunities. And I think in the second half, they got so many frees, perhaps they should have taken the points. Perhaps panicked and going for goals, Noel. Would you agree?
Possibly, Jerry, yeah, but I think Clarecastle were that bit more economical today. They made the most of their chances. The Bridge had a lot of chances and put balls wide, but Clarecastle deserved this. Another goal, yes. Yes,
another goal for Clarecastle. And I think the scorer was Dermot Fitzgerald. So Dermot Fitzgerald scores his second and Clarecastle's 4th goal. And I think this really and truly wraps up the 1995 minor final So Clarecastle, the winners of the 1995 minor title, on a score of 4 goals and 3 points to 5.
The volumes Coardagus a Gualdas and Dyring, a Viega Montan Shana, Agus Coardagus Freshen, Dus Nadina, a Vieg Burn and Dyring. On behalf of Burn and Ogamont, I want to seriously congratulate the two teams on a first-class display of what I would tell them good hurling. As we know, these two teams are synonymous with hurling down through the years, both at Clarecastle and the Bridge. I would like to thank the referee and his officials for the game today. I must commiserate with Sixmilebridge on a great display of hurling, but fortunately there can only be one winner, and today that lot falls to the Magpies. I must congratulate Clarecastle on a fine game of hurling and wish them the best in the future. I'm not going to delay you, except to present the Chaplain Trophy to the captain of the Clarecastle team, who is of course half a bridgeman, Derek Healy.
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank Sixmilebridge. We know what it's like, lads, because you beat us last year in the minor final. So I'd like to put your hands together for you, giving us a good sporting game. Secondly, I would like to thank Midwestern Isle, who sponsors these jerseys year in, year out. So please get your hands together for them as well. And last but not least, I would like to thank the three boys that put so much effort into this for us. First of all, Pádraig Russell, Gerard O'Loughlin, and last but not least, Neil O'Daly. And especially my good old friend here. That's all I have to say, lads. Thank you. Sorry, I forgot to say it. 3 cheers for the Bridge. Hip hip! Hip hip!
first of all, I'd like to congratulate the three of them on their display. I think if I might talk to Dermot Fitzgerald first, who scored 2 goals. Tough game, Dermot.
Yes, it was very tough, right?
You won't play any tougher than that. The idea of the playing the third midfielder, what did you think of that yourself as a corner forward? Do you think it worked?
Yeah, it did work in the first half, right? Because there's an awful strong breeze there. We seem to be bringing in a lot of the ball, and there's loads around the side as well.
Now I'm also joined by 2 of the defence. I think it was really a game where defence is dominated on both sides. We were joined here by both Rory Concannon and by Derek Healy, the captain. Rory, great work there. I was complimenting Anthony Daly on your hooking and blocking. I suppose it just doesn't happen overnight.
I suppose, we've been working at it a long time, and we knew today it was going to be a very tough game, against the Bridge. And the first half it was vital, really, that we got a good start, and Brendan Brown did an awful lot of work. He helped out at midfield, and we kind of, when we went in at half time holding a lead, we kind of felt like that we'd do it this week.
And I think you were much happier in the backs than playing at wing forward as you were last Sunday. Would that be true?
Yeah, well, I prefer the backs, but I play wherever I'm put, really, but it's a team game, and everyone did their bit today, so we were delighted with the victory.
And last but not least, I'm joined by Derek. And in typical Healy fashion, great striking there. You were very happy to be, I'd say, centre back rather than full, were you?
Oh yeah, well, at the beginning of the season I wanted to play centre back, but they said they wanted to strengthen up the full back line, so that's why they put me inside in the full back. So,
I'm told you like to run a lot as well, so it suited you.
oh God, that's lies on you, whoever told you that. It was Noel Constant that said that, no, I bet you.
Possibly. Well done. And now you don't like making speeches, but you did very well there with your chairman of board now, Paddy Casey. I suppose, it was really a case of defences dominating. Did you find it tougher than last day to play?
Oh yeah, especially when you're inside in full back, you don't have so much running to do at all. But when you're out and around the centre back line, you have to dominate centre back line, then you have to cover up the 2 wings, and then you're in around midfield for the puck outs and everything like that. So there's a lot more running inside in centre back than there is in full back. So
now, did you feel the British tactic of going for goals in the middle of the second half was a very bad idea, when they could have possibly taken points and been much closer to you?
Well, we were at least 9 points up there in the middle around 15 minutes to go, so the Bridge needed to get a goal or 2 just to bring them back into, and then probably they would have sorted out and getting a few points then. That was.
That's the way it turned out. Well done, Derek. Congratulations again.
Thanks.
I'm now joined by one of the Clarecastle selectors, perhaps nationwide one of the lesser well known but a very important man today, and I'm sure a very happy Clarecastle man, Pádraig Russell.
Thanks, Sean. It was a great result for us, and we put in a lot of preparation for it during the year. And it's a fairly intensive campaign, because when it's run on a league basis, I think we played a total of 10 games altogether, but we'd 7 games in the league, and then we beat St Joseph's after replay in the semi-final, and again the Bridge, in 2 tough games, and we're very fortunate, and I'm very proud and very happy to come out again today as the winners.
So, a very long campaign, as you said, 8 wins and 2 draws. I presume you agree with the league system in the championship, do you?
It has its disadvantages, but I think the advantages are definitely outweigh them. It brings on the minors throughout the year. I think when we played minor, we won a championship in '86 and '87. It was 3 games, but I think the campaign that they're organising this time, the county board, brings out the true champions for a finish. And I think, what you're really doing at this age group is promoting the game, and the league campaign does that for it, I think.
Now, just Noel Considine joined me in the Bird's Nest there as an analyst. We were very surprised by your decision to play 3 players at midfield. What inspired that?
Well, that was only a last-minute decision, actually. We felt coming up here that the breeze could play a factor. We brought Brendan Brown on. A lot of people would say we should have tried him out earlier on in the campaign, but he's a good young fella, and he's hearty and he's genuine, and he made a great effort in training, and he's a fast and a kind of a workaholic. So we felt today that if the breeze was going to play a big factor, that we go for a 3-man midfield. And fortunately for us, it worked. Brendan picked up a number of balls and played it in. Granted, we were sacrificing maybe on the scoring side, but we were fortunate enough to go in at half-time a goal up, and I think that was a big difference.
I think also your team was transformed by bringing Rory Concannon back to his natural position of full back, and I think Speedy did very well at centre back. He must be very happy with that.
That's right. Well, Rory's done tremendously well for us all year at midfield, and we felt that we needed an edge to turn the tables around on the Bridge. Derek Healy has done excellent as well for us at full-back, but we felt that being the part that it is, and it's a big pitch, we needed to bring him more into the game. Joe Quinn has had a tremendous campaign last year in the minor when we were involved with as well in midfield, so we had no fears with Joe in midfield, as he proved today. Great game, and I think we were happy the way it turned out. Speedy had a great game centre back, and Rory, we know fear of Rory as well, because he's played there at college's level for Flannans, and he had a great game today again.
And I think, the forward line, some excellent goals, particularly taken by Dermot Fitzgerald. I think he's a goal in each half, but were very, very badly needed at the time.
But I mean, Dermot Fitzgerald, he's very similar to his father. He's just a pure opportunist. Dermot might hit a ball for 97 or 57 minutes, and then he could in the last 3 minutes he could bang 3 goals. He was the same in the under-21 final. They were struggling. Dermot probably wouldn't have one of his better games, but the ball went in and was in the back of the net. And again today, he was struggling at sometimes, but in fairness, you can't disagree with 2 goals. He's a great young fella, and he's a good attitude, and we hope that he'll make a great senior hurler.
I mean, you're probably disappointed with the senior hurling this year, but to have won the 21A for the first time and recapture the minor title after 7 or 8 years, you must be very happy with your success.
Jerry, I mean, okay, the senior was a disappointment for us this year, but any year that we can capture the under 21, which was the one that we set out for many years to win and didn't, and what people would have thought was a poor team this year. I mean, surprised everyone, including themselves, and win the championship, and their commitment was unreal. And a lot of people were hoping for this minor team after maybe happy to get to the final last year. They were a year older and after winning down to 16, and I think they proved themselves today, and we were delighted. And the club is ecstatic, the fact that we have now the minor and under 21 championships in the bag.
Thanks, Pádraig. Now there's a rumour going around that Sparrow Loughlin is taking a break, but that's totally untrue. He mightn't be wearing the familiar number 15 of Clare, but he's involved with the Magpies in minor level. You're happy today, I'd say, Ger?
Yeah, delighted. I thought the last day that we slipped up in the second half the last day, and we let Sixmilebridge back into the game. We controlled the first half the last day, and I don't know, we just lost our concentration. But from the word go today, we had fellas tuned in as to, it was never going to be easy, but I think they displayed a very mental game there today, and great commitment and great spirit, and we totally deserved the 8 or 9 points that we won by today.
Just after the game, I congratulated Anthony Daly, and I also complimented him on the great hooking and blocking that you did. I think that was a tremendous factor in your success.
Yeah, well, we've been training this team right through for, I'd say, maybe going on 4 months now. And again, we would have had all those lads from last year as well. And that was the emphasis really we've had for the last 2 years, is being, just being able to do the basic skills, hooking, blocking, striking. And, it's absolutely satisfying there to watch today and the last couple of days right through the league, to see the way certain individuals have improved in their striking and in their hooking and everything, and a great future for them if they stick with it. But it's an age that fellas either drift away or they'll stick with it, But hopefully we have the structure in Clarecastle that the majority of them, if they can get local work, will stick with it.
Now, Pádraig, Russell spoke in favour of the present system, of the league system. You have played 10 matches in the minor championship, winning 8 and drawing 2. So it's a great chance to build a team. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I would. While it's certainly it's more time consuming for the likes of ourselves, it definitely brings out the best in an individual, and I think what it does most is that it improves fellas. They get into a match situation, we'll say week in, week out, and we'll say today is the cream of the cake, if you like. It's their big day, and they've worked so hard for 3 months. I mean, we come out here today. Today is the nice day to be out playing hurling. There's been a lot of bad nights and a lot of roaring and shouting, so very happy for everyone, and definitely I would be in agreement with the system. I think it'll improve the game, and you'll certainly get an extra 5 or 6 for the county as well out of it, I think.
You were saying that it was extra pressure on selectors, but you had a very quiet summer in '95 anyway. Nothing much happening in the inter-county front, isn't that true?
That's very true, I suppose. Well, I mean, it's like everything else. Between exams and the whole lot, there was obviously a break in between, but once the ball was thrown in there back in June, I mean, we had to give 1 or 2 nights to the boys as well, and Pádraig there not being involved in the county scene certainly give us a great break, like in so far as that he was there if we were not there, and it's only in the last, I suppose, 2 months that we certainly have been able to attend 2 or 3 nights a week.
Just interesting to see how lads develop. I saw the Bridge and Clarecastle play here 3 years ago in a great under-14 final, and I also saw a great match last year between Clarecastle and Broadford in the 16. So it's very interesting to see how some of these lads develop. Now, Pádraig has predicted that a number of these will make very good seniors. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, again, as I say, it's an age group where fellas will either go with the flow and stay with the club and develop, or they'll go the opposite. So I mean, there certainly is a big lot of big number there that have huge capabilities, but you know, it's going to be decided over the next year or two. They'll decide it themselves. I don't think anybody else will decide it for them. But there's certainly a good number from that team that will be drafted in over the next year or two to the senior team, and you know, the likes of myself and one or two will make way, no problem.
Sparrow thinking of retiring. What a terrible threat. But I don't think that'll happen. But well done again, and congratulations to Clarecastle.
Thanks, Joey.
Well done. So finally, from Cusick Park, on a day in which Clarecastle recapture the minor A hurling title, which they last won in 1987. I'm joined here for the last time today by a rather happy Clarecastleman, and just to get the final word here from Noel Considine.
Yeah, it was a great evening for Clarecastle, Jerry. You know, that batch of young fellas, I know a lot of them fairly well. This is a 2-year thing. I think Sparrow and Dalo and Russ will be the first to say that. They put in a lot of effort, I believe. You know, I believe training sessions were very well attended, and they're a grand bunch of young fellas. You know, and not just saying that because they won in that, but you know, going from young Casey up to Fitz the corner forward, they're a grand bunch of young fellas, and you know, I don't think any team deserved to win a championship more. They weren't good enough last year, let's be honest about it. They were up against a very good Bridge team, but you know, they proved. I mean, what was it? 10 matches, they won 8 and drew 2. They proved they're the best team. I mean, that's one thing a league system does do, and you know, I'm delighted for them. And there are a few of them that'll you know, be putting pressure on us in the senior team in a couple of years' time. Fitz is a super player. I mean, I've been on about him, as you know, for a long time. Young John Casey has come on in leaps and bounds in goal. You know, made a great save today when he had to make it. The last day kept him in it with 2 brilliant saves. You know, he's only 15, great future ahead of him. Rory Concannon, the full back line. Speedy Healy, an outstanding hurler. Joe Quinn, the fine player. Joe O'Mara, Alan Keogh. You know, all those young players are very good players, and you know, the future is good with an under 21 and a minor one. You know, what more can you ask for? Right, the seniors, you know, we didn't cover ourselves in Dory this year, but you know, there's other years for that. Great year all the same for Clarecastle, you know.
So great year for Clarecastle, and even greater years ahead, so the rest of us better watch out.